This is my painting called Parade. So for the concept, I was imagining a village of people who live on a rocky hillside where there aren't many trees or tall buildings to block out the sky. I imagined that living in a place like this would cause them to have a strong connection with the night sky and a collective belief that they're not alone in the universe. So once a year, these people would all gather together and have a parade to celebrate their culture. It would involve dancing and marching bands and costumes and all sorts of merriment. The route that the parade would take would form concentric rings circling around one another in alternating directions. The result of this, when seen from above, would look like a kaleidoscope or a patchwork of colors. It would be a display of beauty for whoever might be watching them from beyond the earth. I was inspired by the experience of seeing farmlands from up in an airplane. This also made me think of crop circles, especially the fancy ones, whether they're real or not. The challenge now was how to make something look like a gathering of people up close and a geometric abstraction from a distance. I knew my painting surface had to be really big, so I ended up building my own wood panel. This was my sketch for the layout. Here's the hillside here and the gathering of people below. It would also include their little houses and the buildings in their town center. And then here are some photos of the people going on. After 2 months or so of drawing the people, though, I started to notice that it didn't look very geometric. I felt like if I kept going, half of the original concept would disappear. It would still be a parade, but it wouldn't look very geometric when seen from a distance, so I decided to start over. I gessoed over everything and started again with a white rectangle. I decided that the scene didn't need to be so realistic. I wanted to focus on making it graphic and geometric above all else, and I was trying to find examples of how to fill up a rectangle in a graphic and eye-catching way. So for examples, I looked at flags and board games and diagrams and mandalas and quilts, and I was especially into this quilt here. So I decided to make a mock-up with the marching band people organized over it. And I really liked it a lot, so I did my own version. I also agonized over the color scheme for a really long time, and I made like 50 different color scheme variations in Photoshop. Ultimately, I was going to hang this painting in my kitchen though, so I decided on a color palette that would look good with the colors in there. At this point, though, I started to worry that it would look like a military parade, though, with all the brown. So the last row of people I added to it are gymnasts twirling ribbons, and I just thought this would make it a bit more tutti-frutti, because that's how I think parades should be. This ended up taking me about 10 months to finish, and I'm happy with the changes it went through. I hope you enjoyed learning about this piece.